In a case, it's personal.
Every wedding should certainly be a fairy tale wedding, but if you want to ensure that yours is, then you need to be where we are this morning. We are at Oakleaf Cottage talking with Chris and Dave Angston and their fairy tale world back here. What a beautiful spot you have.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us in.
Thanks for coming.
You were our way not too long ago, Chris, and you told us about this, but seeing truly is believing when you come here. You journey here to Oakleaf Cottage. There is a bit of a drive to get up the hill, and then you are in this gorgeous spot.
We say it's worth going up there. You don't put a driveway in like that unless there's something good at the other end.
Well, there are lots of things good at the other end. So one of the things, before we talk about the scenery here, that is just unparalleled, let's talk about kind of the vision you bring to the weddings that you throw, because you want that to be the bride's vision, and you do that.
Yeah, so we work with our couples pretty extensively, pretty much from the get-go. So what we like to do is we'll say, okay, let's talk about like what's your vendor hierarchy, because there always is that. And so we'll kind of talk about what's most important. Is it flowers? Is it the cake? Is it the food itself? Is it the ambiance that you want to create? What do you want to remember? What do you want your guests to remember most? And so then we figure out what would make sense from there. And so we work together with them, their florists, the rest of the vendor team that we help them put together and create what would work well for them.
What she's not telling you, but what is true, and maybe Dave will attest to this, is what you're going to leave with is a wedding that's not like anybody else's.
No.
There is no formula here. Right, Dave?
Correct, yes.
So you highly personalize things.
We do. There's actually a lot of setup, and that's where a lot of times myself or other people that help me come in, we have a lot of furniture that we offer. We may have tents or dance floors or things to set up. So
The lighting installation you just
that
did.
happens. Yeah, that happens during the week, and then we try to get that set up as much as we can before the day of.
So we're here on a Monday, and as we came through, there was a wedding here over the weekend. This particular bride said, I kind of want something kind of with a boho theme. Chris went to work with her interior design background, and what we see this morning, you just poof came up with from your own head.
Yeah, we just kind of, she knew she really liked those lanterns that we had in our catalog. And so I said, this is something that I've wanted to do, I've kind of dreamed about. Would you like this? And then it turned out in working with Liza, with Fox and Fern, we were able to really piece together something really amazing. And Liza's incredible.
I mean, look at where we are sitting.
And this is 2 days old. So.
And look how gorgeous it is. I mean, the trail that beckons down behind us here, the arch, you can't quite tell right now, but it's very deep. Did you make it, Dave?
I did. Yeah.
So Dave is also a woodworker. You were a special ed teacher, but you have this great eye for design yourself. So inside the barn, that's a lot of your work. You revamped it.
It is. We had a major, a pretty extensive remodeling of the place, both the barn and the cottage, when we purchased it. So we wanted to add some details and things that we felt would be a little more fitting for a venue. And at that point, that was really where we started.
There are actually two spots here. So we are at the barn. Oakleaf Cottage itself is what greets you when you first approach the top of that steep driveway. And I love what you did with that, actually, Chris, because you've designed it to be a spot where the bride and her party can get ready. But if people want to stay and spend the night and have a bridal event before the wedding, it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home.
Yes, yes, yes. And we wanted to make it so that there was always a good backdrop anywhere that, because it is a highly photographed day, you want to make sure that there's always a really good camera angle or something really neat for the backdrop that can pick up various colors that they're choosing for their bridesmaids or their bouquet. There's one photo that still stands out in my mind where the bride had this massive bouquet and she's against that one wall upstairs and it just... that you can't tell for sure where the flowers end and the wall begins.
Oh,
it's amazing.
Really?
Such a great photo.
Such a great photo. I don't know how you could go wrong here, actually, because we were commenting on the bird song that you hear where we are this morning. The shadow, I love how the sunlight hits through the trees. It would just give that romantic feel to all of your pictures. And then you transform it at night.
That's correct.
You've got lighting installed, and you put out a mean dance floor if people want it. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, this is a cool spot for putting out the dance floor in this particular. This is called the Mountainside site. There's another ceremony site called the Forest View. But if this was not used for ceremony, we can set it up and have the dance floor here. Depending on the DJ, you know, they have uplighting that changes colors and stuff like that. Or we've worked with Luma Designs before where they've done string lights over it. Very fun.
What, you know, if you've thrown a wedding recently, then you're probably nodding your head. You're nodding your head and you're shaking your head. So the nod is, yes, it takes a lot to plan it. The shake is, I wish I had known about Oakleaf Cottage. But people can come to you and simply fall in love with this view as the two of you did 8 years ago, and then you will help pull all the pieces together for them. Something we have not discussed, we did before. They're big on protecting this beautiful spot that they have, and so all the dishware that you use is truly yours.
Yes.
And you reuse it.
Yes.
Nothing is wasted here.
We do our best to sort everything. That's part of his job at the beginning of the week too, is that anything that was disposable, any of the plastics, the glass, anything.
A lot of what we discovered early on was that weddings produce a lot of trash. And so we really didn't like the idea of having, well, first of all, we couldn't get a dumpster up here anyway. So it really kind of fell into this, a good idea to go ahead and recycle everything that we could. So we break it down during the wedding. Our staff helps us with that. And then what we try to do is leave with as much recyclable belongings as we can. And I would say most weddings we at least achieve 70% recycle rate. That's on average. Sometimes we can do a little better, sometimes a little worse. But
in terms of getting in touch with you, if people are interested in finding out if there's a weekend open for them, do you do weekends only? Do you ever do weekday weddings, like Thursdays?
We do. We do Mondays and Thursdays.
Okay.
And so then there's different options with that. But
That's
yes,
become very popular.
It has. It definitely has.
If you are looking to have a wedding of about 100 people, it can be difficult to find that intimate setting. You found it here. One more reason that Dade County beckons. We have had so much fun through the Alliance for Dade coming up to visit these beautiful spots. So Oakleaf Cottage is what it's called. Truly, you will come and be wowed, and your fairy tale will come true.
Next time on Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Ma'am, I believe you were putting pressure on your child to